Debt is the borrowed money that you have to return with interest. How you use that borrowed money makes it good or bad debt. Hi, my name is Sunny and welcome to my channel SunnySnippets. Here, I try to make videos that affects a common man financially. If you are new to this channel, please smash that like button as that will help me with the YouTube algorithm and it will be highly appreciated. It is the amount of money that you borrow from any lender with a clear understanding to pay it back along with its interest. In other words, it's a liability that you have to repay. People use that for wide variety of reasons ranging from buying consumer items, cars, real estate, student loans, vacation, etc. to name a few. Like everything in life, the usage of this borrowed money determines the outcome, whether it's going to help us in life or will add to our already financial burdened lives. People borrow money to buy things that they cannot afford to pay in full right now. It is just a means to leverage our future income where we get the product or service right now but will pay it over a period of time with interest. Broadly, debt can be of two types: good debt and bad debt. Anything bought with the borrowed money whose value goes up in time, that is, an appreciating asset, is generally considered as a good debt. As an example, an income producing real estate is often considered as a good debt. The simple logic is that the tenants will pay the mortgage on the real estate and you, the owner, keeps the appreciation in the property. On the other hand, bad debt is anything bought with the borrowed money whose value goes down with time, that is, depreciating asset, is often called as a bad debt. The prime examples of bad debt are credit card, car loans, etc., to name a few. I think we know at least one person who has gone for their destination wedding financed by a bank loan. We all have our ambitions and desires, but do you think it is advisable to start your married life financed by debt? In my view, debt is as old as the economy. The modern economy works on the basis of debt, whether it is personal debt, municipal debt, provincial debt, corporate debt, or for that matter, national debt. You cannot imagine the present day economy to work without it. Everybody who handles money has some form of debt. I think it's not the debt, but the purpose and the end use of it makes the whole difference. People, companies, or countries use that as leverage to move ahead, as at times they don't have the full amount available. This leverage allows you to do certain things that you may not be able to do in normal course. As an example, if you want to buy a small business, there are only two ways to buy it. One, pay the whole amount in cash, which normally people don't have. Second, go to the bank for a small business loan where you put down some money and the rest is financed in the form of debt by the bank. This way, you are using bank's money as leverage to buy business to get ahead in life financially. Income generated from this business allows you to pay off the monthly installment of the debt along with the interest, pay the overheads, and hopefully you're left with some profit for yourselves. Similarly, governments are also using debt to provide services to its citizens because they don't have the money right now. So they are leveraging debt and will pay it back in the future with the tax revenue generated. All this is good as long as you don't go overboard with it. Nobody takes loan or debt thinking that he will not be able to pay it back. But events happen which are beyond one's control. Low interest rates acts as a stimulus for people and businesses along with governments to take on more debt because of it. But as we all know, Unforeseen events happen in life and things go turtle. The so called good debt goes bad and people are stuck. Remember 2008 2009 housing crisis in the US? And lately, nobody saw COVID-19 pandemic hitting us in so many bad ways. Let's first talk about housing crisis that happened in the US during 2008 2009. Years leading up to 2008, ninja loans, which is the short form for no income, no job, was very rampant in the US. Anyone who wanted a home loan, irrespective of the income or job, the banks were more than willing to lend the money with little or no down payment to buy it. The logic was the house prices will never go down as it is an appreciating asset. So everybody thought it is a safe investment. On the flip side, people in the lending business were making tons of money, so the oversight was very lax. The low interest rate kept the monthly mortgage payments relatively low, along with the teaser rates banks were offering at that time. Since the buyers have little or very low down payment, so they were also more than willing to take on the mortgage debt as they have very little skin in the game. Finally, when interest rates went up, so did the people's monthly mortgages. People with no jobs and no income find it very hard to repay that increased mortgage amounts. When people try to refinance their homes, they realized the value of their homes now is less than what they owe to the bank. So basically, they were underwater. People started walking away from their homes. The houses were dumped onto the market for selling, which increased the supply, further decreasing their prices, and the whole domino effect led to the housing crisis in the US. So, all of a sudden, what people thought was a safe investment, which is their house, the good debt turned into bad as people were over leveraged. One more time in history, we learned that situation can turn bad at any moment if we don't prepare ourselves financially for that. Nobody saw COVID-19 pandemic coming. Because of the rapid spread of the virus, the governments announced lockdowns which affected people's ability to make money. People who never saved money for emergency were caught unprepared. Remember, the financial advisor has always told us to keep at least 8 to 10 months of our living expenses set aside as emergency fund. We all listened, but when it comes to saving that money, we said, we'll start it from next month. Let me buy this new phone that is in vogue these days, or let me go to this cruise with my family first. If there is one financial lesson we should learn from COVID-19 is that we should be prepared for emergencies financially. That is exactly the reason why so many governments around the world has to shell out stimulus money to its citizens as they ran out of money. They never saved it at the first place for their basic day-to-day needs from housing to feeding their families. My humble opinion is debt is debt. It has to be repaid with interest. Even the good debt is not that good if you are over leveraged. Think for yourself and don't be too optimistic. Rental real estate, which I think is a good debt, but if you are over leveraged, all of a sudden the situation in the economy turns bad, you will find yourself in a very tough situation. I have personally used debt to buy rental real estate, but I know my limits. And for that matter, we all know our limits. When we find our friends or relatives buying bigger real estate, we push ourselves financially to do the same. And as a result, we over leverage ourselves. As long as you have a healthy debt to equity ratio, even if you're buying an appreciating asset, maybe in the short term you will have lesser financial returns, but I feel you will sleep better in the worst times. This is my take on, is there such thing as a good debt? If you have found value in the content that I make, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time on the next video on your own channel, Sunny Snippets.